Velocity, morning, peace, and blessings. All right, so getting into the first house, you know what I'm saying? I guess you could say from more of a beginner perspective or whatever. I'm trying to make this video as basically understandable as possible, yet still provide, you know what I'm saying, straightforward communication and source. So yeah, getting into the first house, right? So the first house from a general perspective is real general, but at the same time, it's really the fucking truth or whatnot. The first house really represents the personality, the will, the conscious drive of the individual, the natural I am identity force. You know what I'm saying? The body mind complex, and you know what I'm saying, the hat or the helmet that you feel me, pretty much overall wear, right? Yeah, the operating system or the foundational level of the mind, if you want to call it that, right? That's the first house. You know what I'm saying? Your will, your personality, your identity, your drive, and whatnot, right? And the first house is pretty much the center point of the natal chart because it's really your self-conscious will identity principle that you have about yourself. This is the thing that's pretty much going to decide and determine all of the other factors, sectors, and demonstrations of your life, right? Because the first house itself, you know, the Lagna Lord, you know what I'm saying? The Lagna Lord itself has its own personality, its own natural, you feel me, expression or energy. It has its own likes and dislikes. You feel me? It's patterns. You know, it has a way that it responds to certain situations, and you know, certain situations that it avoids, and you know, certain rabbit holes that it wants to dig down, and yada yada yada, etc., etc., right? It has a certain configuration about itself already, and this baseline configuration is going to pretty much dictate the other activities of the other 11 houses, right? Now, don't get me wrong, all of the houses kind of interact and influence each other, right? It's just a natural part of the web or the tapestry of life, right? But the first house ultimately is like the center house, you know, in astrology and whatnot, right? And knowing, and to be honest, you know, this is why we have concepts like Boudica or Boudication. Like without the Lagna, there is no defining Boudica or Boudication. You know what I'm saying? There is no motherfucking yoga Karaka, or you feel me, any of these different systems of calculation or whatnot, right? Like you need the Lagna for that, and the Lagna is needed for that because you need to know, like, if it's I guess you could say fucking Taurus ascendant, you need to know, you feel me, that the ninth from Taurus is going to be the Boudica and it's Saturn. And why is it Saturn? You know what I'm saying? And why is Saturn somewhat acting in an inimical fashion to this Taurus ascendant or whatnot? Is that right? Damn, I'm saying some shit. I gotta goddamn go back and check. I'm like, damn, isn't Taurus Saturn is Boudica for the? I'll fucking figure it out later, and I'll check myself later. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, moving on, right? So yeah, this is why you have different concepts or whatever. They're ascendant based because they're piggybacking. That's crazy. That's a fucking crazy. Moving on, right? They're going off of the back of the ascendant, right? The personality of this particular planet is definitely very much needed in order to come to a certain calculation or to a certain conclusion, right? And just to kind of give an example, you know, shit, Sagittarius versus a Cancer ascendant, right? So just from a natural perspective, like we're not gonna do no planets, you know what I'm saying? No Mars in fifth house and none of that. Just a natural Sagittarius ascendant as a blank chart and a Cancer ascendant as a blank chart, right? So Cancer ascendant, you feel me? This is ruled by the moon. The moon is more softer. The moon is calmer. The moon is more I guess you could say reserved. It's intuitive. It's empathetic. The moon is more like wanting of intimacy from a emotional and nurturing level, right? The moon is more pleasing. The moon is more emotionally pleasing or whatever, right? Pleasing of the heart space. You feel me? You can say motherly in a way, or like royalty in a way. You feel me? Bringing peace to the mind and like a place of comfort, a source of comfort, a source of refuge, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? The moon has all these different qualities. The moon is also like, what I'm saying, a naturally rich and abundant force. You feel me? Can be a bit emotionally attached, right? Can be a bit reserved, the crab or the hermit crab or whatever, due to the sensitivity of the inner flesh or whatever. They build these hard exterior shells and they retreat. They go within or whatever. They hermit or whatever to protect themselves from the outside forces or whatever. These are all natural expressions of Cancer ascendant from a baseline. Are all Cancer ascendants going to share these exact qualities to the 100% max? Not necessarily. You feel me? You can find some extroverted Cancer ascendants for sure, right? Due to the rest of the configurations within a chart, but there will be some baseline configurations or some baseline traits that you'll be able to see, you feel me, based off a person having their ascendant in Cancer, right? Now, what else? Oh yeah, Sagittarius ascendant. So what does Sagittarius ascendant show, right? So Sagittarius, is ruled by Jupiter. Sagittarius itself is what I'm saying, the spiritual warrior. You feel me? The half man, half beast. The one who's overcoming the impulses and the urges of the lower self. The one who's focused on his cosmic destiny. You know what I'm saying? Dharma, higher truth, wisdom, understandings of the universe. You feel me? The yogic path or the spiritual path, and observing religious rites or sacrifices in order to bring him closer to God or to the higher self or whatever, right? So Sagittarius ascendant, right, has a enemy type relationship with Cancer ascendant due to their differences in configuration of personality. Now, it's like they're both going for a comfort of some sort. First of all, every ascendant is going for a comfort of some sort. Everybody is going for a like or a truth or something that they feel is the best destination, right? That's every ascendant, every planet, everything in astrology. But Cancer and Sagittarius kind of have like an inimical relationship because it's like, on the one hand, Sagittarius is the yogi trying to go away from the likes and the dislikes of the world. Sagittarius believes the spiritual destination is the true, and he believes the comforts are the trap. The family, the sense of identity or belonging to the neighborhood, or the sex life, or you feel me, just getting identified with a group, and the emotional attachments and dependency and the intimacies or whatever. Sagittarius sees these things as obstacles on a spiritual path at times and whatnot, right? So Sagittarius can often try to bypass or avoid these things. You know what I'm saying? Certain yogis can often try to bypass or go to the mountain and, be in isolation and not deal with, you know, coming across certain people that they may have an attachment to or a liking to, because it can kind of feel like it's suppressing the ability to connect to God or the truth, or can pull them away from the duality or whatever, right? And it's kind of why within the eighth house of Sagittarius ascendant is Cancer. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that emotionality and the dependence, and you feel me. Eighth house is the house that we don't want to confront, but we have to confront in order to really cleanse the toxins that we've stored up subconscious. I know I'm all over the fucking place. I just realized that, nigga, this shit is about the first fucking house. Like, what the fuck am I? What the fuck am I describing? Like, I'm going into depth about A from Sagittarius ascendant and all this extra shit, right? Let me slow down. Let me back all the way the fuck up. I should do a different video, but I'm going to keep that, right? So, moral of the story of me even saying that shit in the first place between these two different ascendants. Cancer ascendant might be a bit better to maybe hold together a family unit, or maybe a father or a mother who will be more dedicated to taking care of the kids or being emotionally receptive to the kids, and watering the family, gardening, you know, spiritual healing either. You know what I'm saying? Cancer is a very spiritual sign. You know what I'm saying? The moon is a spiritual force by default, because to really, grow in spirituality, you have to be able to heal the deeper traumas and the pain, the hurt aspects of the self or whatever. And once you do that, once you're able to get to a sense of peace, like within the mind, peace of the mind, which is represented by the moon or whatever, which Lord Shiva is the one who champions the symbol of Chandra or the moon or whatever, after he intook the poison within the cosmic ocean and whatnot, right? The moon, as they even say in the Bible, peace surpasses all understanding. You know what I'm saying? The moon can give deep levels of just knowing. You know what I'm saying? Just knowing based off of the peace and stillness the individual was able to obtain within or whatnot. And knowing and understanding is naturally adaptable or adaptive to the environment around it or whatever. The clear mind, the clear moon, can absorb and pretty much, know all things, and it's not an ego thing when it comes to the moon. So it's more so like a person becoming like a mother to the world, which is Cancer, right? The motherly figure. Once you become a mother, it's not about ego. It's not about, I'm spiritually superior to Noble Drew Ali, or you know what I'm saying? If I live, during Muhammad Ali time, I would have beat his ass. So it's not about no bullshit competition shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you like seeing yourself as a mother to the world, or a mother, father, a true lover to the people around you without needing anything in return or whatever, that's when the barriers of the mind can start to fall down, the different dislikes, the enmities, the personal grudges or whatever. And it's just genuinely about love and helping those I love, right? So that's a bunch of word slop on Cancer ascendant in the moon or whatnot. And Sagittarius ascendant, once again, it's the knowledge, it's the super sacred higher knowledge or whatever that's assimilated, that helps the individual also overcome a lot of the dark trenches of the mind naturally, through scientific, through pure, not even scientific, through pure single-minded understanding, understanding that the boogeyman never was real. So you don't have to be up in the middle of the night, shitting yourself, shit running down your leg, you watching the closet, you know what I'm saying? You got a water gun in your hand, and you feel me, you done preloaded this bitch with all types of gallons of water or whatever the fuck, ready to spray at a nigga coming out the closet. You feel me? Like, all of these different psychological traumas or whatever that you're holding within itself. Like, Sagittarius can pretty much cut through that with wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Sagittarius is the sword of wisdom. I like to say my people suffer for lack of wisdom in the Bible. But getting back to it, these two ascendants have their own natural personality. So they will respond to the world in different ways, some good, some bad, you know what I'm saying? Especially based off of the baseline planets within a chart anyway. Mars ascendants, you know what I'm saying? Aries ascendant is more direct. He's more straightforward. He's more abrasive, but he's more optimistic as well. You know what I'm saying? Aries ascendant believes he can do anything. It's ruled by Mars, right? The more to the cone of Mars. You know what I'm saying? The more positive side of Mars. So Aries ascendant, is a very gun ho type of energy. A very think before I act type of energy, and repetitively act. A very willful type of energy or whatever. It can be childish too. It can seem quite childish or whatever. But every ascendant is relentless and they win. You know what I'm saying? They keep going for the win. They don't get tired. Like a ram constantly running up to another ram and they constantly, you feel me, just butting heads like over some stupid shit. They don't give a fuck. Versus Scorpio ascendant, it's ruled by Mars again, but it's a different psychology of Mars because it's Scorpio. This is the traumatized and the abused Mars who's not trying to get abused again. You feel me? This is the Mars that can sometimes reach a state of don't give a fuck or might feel like they in hell sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And might get to gaining all sorts of occult, deeply intuitive, deeply perceptive knowledge, gaining all type of weapons and getting pretty much a upper hand on people in a general reality around them. You know what I'm saying? Scorpio ascendants can obtain powers naturally that can give them an upper hand on most people around them. You know what I'm saying? Which can turn some Scorpio ascendants into bullies or people who just go try to project their trauma or the shit that they've been through on others. You know what I'm saying? Or it can just make some Scorpio ascendants constantly looking behind their shoulder like, you know what I'm saying, this person is looking for me or that person and that person over there, and you feel me, the government, tinfoil, the ice wall, all these goddamn flock cameras, and they're putting honey packs in the water. So I'm getting hard while I'm taking showers, and the masturbation guides is, you know what I'm saying, all this extra fearful conspiracy theory thinking that life is threatened type shit, you know what I'm saying, can come as a particular personality attachment to the Scorpio ascendant, right? It doesn't necessarily, once again, it doesn't necessarily always have to manifest in such an intense manner. Like every Scorpio ascendant isn't going to just be looking behind their back, like, just eyes open in the middle of the night with a knife strapped to their nutsack, and you feel me, just ready to just ready to kill at the slightest sound or whatever. Like that's not gonna be every Scorpio ascendant, but you can definitely bet there will be a tinge of defensiveness and suspicion within the personality, right? Capricorn and or let me do another one. Did a Jupiter, did a Mars, Leo ascendant, you know what I'm saying? Leo ascendant is naturally going to command authority or respect. It's naturally going to try to be, you feel me, a person who can have responsibilities of some sort or delegate orders or, be in a leadership role, supervise, command, very much so about respect, authority, how they carry themselves, standing on their principles and whatever. You feel me? Being above situations, displaying arrogance to a certain degree, you feel me? And with that type of mentality, that automatically is going to allow an individual a better ability to seek certain things and avoid certain things. Like a Leo ascendant operating a pallet jack, in a warehouse, you know what I'm saying, making $15 an hour. I'm pretty sure it's happening out there somewhere. You feel me? But it's not the most likely thing, in the world, right? Especially if it's a Leo ascendant with Sun in the ascendant in Maga. It's just not likely happening. And if it does happen, it's because something else in the chart is pointing more towards a Saturnian manifestation, right? Or pretty much going against the Leo ascendant, right? And even in that position, they probably still would think super high of themselves or be super, you know what I'm saying, confident with the ascendant Sun in Maga, right? What else? I'm just freestyling at this point. Fuck Aquarius ascendant, Michael Jackson. Aquarius ascendant is the natural humanitarian. You know what I'm saying? It's ruled by Saturn. Saturn is kind of cold. You know, he's tall. He's kind of weird. He's, you know what I'm saying, misunderstood. He can be quite robotic or, you know what I'm saying, secretive to a certain degree. But Aquarius is like one who is trying to free humanity. It's like Prometheus. You feel me? One who can be sacrificed to a certain degree due to their propensity to rebel against societal hierarchical structures and things of that nature, go against the grain, try to liberate and free the masses. And Michael Jackson, in particular, his ascended lord was Saturn in the 10th house and in Jesta, Scorpio, right? So, you know, the ascended lord matters a lot too. Ascended lord of Saturn, it's in Jesta. Jesta is like ultimate attainment, trying to ultimately attain, like Lord Indra. You know what I'm saying? Become the greatest, become the king, become the deepest master of a particular thing, science, uh, acquisition, whatever you want to call it, right? So Michael, he pretty much was the king of pop. You feel me? And not only just that, Michael, arguably, not even arguably, you know what I'm saying? Might as well just say it. Michael's pretty much the greatest musician that we've seen grace the face of our planet in today's age and time or whatnot, right? Past 100 years, right? You know what I'm saying? That's Michael Jackson. And that could be seen from the ascended Lord's placement. And you know the soft nature of Michael, you feel me? The you could say feminine, or you feel me, pale, especially the pale, how he turned pale in his later years or whatever. Childlike, his, you know what I'm saying, fascination with children. I don't think he did, you know, the molestation shit that they try to accuse him of, but you feel me, his admiration for children and being about taking care of the children, and his emotional intuition or sense of care of wanting to heal the world, and his peaceability, right? That comes from moon being in his ascendant. So the moon has an influencing factor upon his ascendant as well, which made him manifest, you know, the way in the world that he did, which made him carry out, you feel me, his self-expression, his life mission, and all these different things as he did, right? So Will Smith, Taurus ascendant, you know, Venus is MKS, modern Nakataka, but it's with Mercury, right? It's with Mercury and it's with Moon in the 6th house. Venus represents the artist. It represents, you know what I'm saying, luxuries. It represents, you know, one's ability to please, one's ability to show up as attractive, magnetic, resourceful, yada, 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 etc., pleasing. Will Smith, you know what I'm saying, rapper, actor, writer, you feel me, businessman, carries himself as, you know, the good guy or the peaceable archetype, which is represented by his ascended lord being Venus in Libra, you know, Mercury and all that. Like, you don't really see Will Smith in his actual identity of Will Smith, you feel me, just being no cutthroat nigga, fuck you, or dealing with all type of drugs and busting bottles over bitches' heads, and you know what I'm saying, just rambunctious behavior, whatever. He's pretty much a clean cut guy, or at least that's what he portrayed to the public. You know what I'm saying? And that can definitely be seen by the expression of Venus with Mercury in the moon in the 6th house or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Very much so an emphasis or focus on cleanliness and the reputation and pleasing, like being a part of the media, movies, arts, you know what I'm saying? Business contract situations and negotiations, you know what I'm saying? Multi-million-dollar attainments, you feel me? With those three being coagulated within a 6th position, right? So all in all, the 1st house, it really just represents your personality, your baseline operating system, mental configuration. You feel me? And I could keep going. It's so many, you know what I'm saying? There's different ascendants, it's different, so many different celebrities, and can show, you feel me, how this celebrity turned out, or, you know, why this celebrity went in this particular direction or whatever. You feel me? It's an infinite amount of content, pretty much, but I hope this video helped somebody out or brought somebody to a good degree of understanding in regards to first house, first lord, and you know the different planetary manifestations and where they can take an individual's life. Relax.